Hello everyone, this is going to be my second video on Unreal Engine tutorial on beginner level. So, and this video is going to be included in the series, which is basically how to use Visual Studio Code, C++ with Unreal Engine to create your own projects, right? So, when you open up Unreal Engine, you will see these templates in the game section, right? And you can select any one of these according to your need, etc, etc. I will select third person for the sake of the video, and I will select C++ and include starter content, right? As I have created the project earlier, so I will not create it right here. But before you select C++, you have to install Visual Studio Code Community Edition based on Unreal Engine version of 5.1, 5.2, etc, etc. And then you, while installing Visual Studio, you have to check the box with game development with C++, etc. So yes, let's start the video. So right here I have the project, right? And as I have checked the box with the starter content, I get the character with rig, etc, etc, and the content related to it. So here I have two folders right here in the content browser, which is content C++ classes, right? If I have created the project with blueprint, I will not have C++ classes folder right here. So what we have in the C++ classes folder, we have the main class for our character, which is named after my uh, project name, coding part 1 character, right? And if you want to see the blueprint child class of it, I can show you. It will be under third person blueprints right here. You will have it, and you can open it and you can see right here, coding part 1 character parent class. So yeah, so if I open up the coding part 1 character to understand what it exactly does, so right away we can see it, the class opened up with two files, .h and .cpp files. So in one file we are going to declare variables, right? And in other we are going to use those variables to perform something in the you can say in the game, or a concept in the game, etc, etc. So in .h file we are going to declare variables, right? And when you look at the code, you see u class, right? U properties, etc, etc. So the u is just basically means it is related to Unreal, so Unreal Engine class, u class, right? And you know what the class is. It allows us to perform object oriented programming, create objects, etc, etc, right? And here we have u property, which is basically a macro, and it takes different parameters, arguments to perform, or to declare a variable, right? So here we have different arguments, which are basically keywords specified in Unreal Engine, right? And there are many keywords. You can look up in Unreal Engine documentation. I can provide the link for the documentation below my channel or description box, etc. And here you can see the code has described camera boom, or declared camera boom variable, which is going to be related to uSpring component class. And what, and you can see the here a star, right? Asterisk or something like that. So basically this is a pointer, right? And you can see that the variable is associated with this class, right? And you can also see this in right here. So yes, there are different variables like this one: follow camera, move action, jump action, look action, etc, etc. So let's look in the .cpp file. Here are different header files or .h files which you have included, which they have included for performing different to get different variables, etc, etc, or different functions, etc, you can say. So when you see .cpp file, you will see this, which is basically a constructor. And what a constructor is, it basically creates an object for the class or initializes it with a value like that. So here under constructor we have get capsule component, and we have this arrow. So why we are using this is we are using this to because this is a pointer, right? So we are using this to initialize the capsule size. Capsule size is nothing but, let me close this. Capsule size is nothing but let me show this, the collision box capsule component, right? So this is basically it. And there are many comments provided by Unreal Engine developers, which are basically very helpful in understanding the code. You can basically read these comments and what the code is doing, right? So here the code is configuring the movement, you can see get character movement, etc, 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 right? So what is B doing here? Let me just tell you that. So B is basically used for boolean, right? So boolean is basically 0, 1, true, false value. So we are saying that use controller rotation pitch is boolean is false. So we are saying that the boolean named use controller rotation pitch is false, and you can see what these all are doing, right here you can see all the comments which are very useful. And what is create default sub object is doing? So create default sub object is used to create a component, and between these arrows is the component, you can say what component you are going to create on what component. So we are going to create a new component based on use spring arm component, which will be named camera boom. So you can see these components in let me show you. Here you can see camera boom, follow camera, etc, etc, right here. So see, you have created a component named follow camera, and you can see that in there, right? So you can read all these comments, etc, etc, to know better about the code and the functionalities that it provides. So let's just create a a new class. You can just go in the C++ classes folder, and you can click right click, and then this will appear, and you can select any one of these options, but I am going to select the character option. Then I'm going to name it let me just name it C, and let it be public. You can create it in private or anything you want. It will take some time. So the compile is successful. Okay, so here I have my own class that I created, the character class, right? So let me just open it. It will open up here, and now you see it the class also created two files, right, like this one. Okay, so what we can actually do is declare a variable and use it in our you know .cpp file. So let me declare a a variable right here. U property, I can say edit, uh, let me use the keyword visible anywhere, uh, and let me use another keyword category, which let it be value. Okay. So, and let me declare a variable, so let it be float, and let it be value. Let the name will be value, so it will be float and the name of the variable will be value. So what I did here was create a macro to declare my variable and use keywords like visible, anywhere, category, etc. So category is like, uh, let me show you. So category will appear in the details right here. So you will have different categories, and under which category you want your variable to appear, you can set it right here under value. Okay, so let me use this value to create under here and give this value of this value a value. So let it be 99.0. so yeah, so what I did here is I declared a variable float, named a value under my class, public, set values, etc, etc, and I in .cpp file I have given it a value of around 99.0, 99.0. You can set ff, you can set anything. So yeah, let me just build the solution. Let's go in the Unreal Engine and compile the code. You can compile it from here. Successful. So if you want to create a child class or a blueprint class based on your main parent class, you can just of your own class which you have created, you can just click on the class which you have created and create blueprint class based on, and you can save it under wherever you want. So this is my class that I created, and you can see the parent class is C, which is basically that the class that I created. Let me just show you here. So you can see that right here, and you can see the value, right? The variable that I created, it comes under the category value. So what if I want to use that variable right here? Right now you cannot use it. So there is another keyword which you can use to to what can I say, to to use it in blueprint, to use the value in the blueprint. So the what was it? So right, so the name of the keyword is blueprint read and write. You can use read only, then you will not be able to modify the the value, but I will use read write. Okay, so let me just build the solution, and for my sake I will compile the build failed. I don't know why. Oh, basic mistake. Right, so let me just build failed. How? Oh shit. Basic mistakes. Sheesh. So now you can just compile the data, successful, live coding successful. Now when you will go here, you can access the value right here. So now you can access the value, you can set the value, right? You can do whatever you want to do with the, with the value, etc., right? So this is going to be it for the part 1 of the video, and soon I will be uploading more, parts of the video. And we are basically going to create a game based on C++ with Visual Studios and Unreal Engine. And thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please subscribe and share. Thank you.